Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Power Book 2, Ghost. This is season 1, episode 4, and it was titled Prince. I swear, that whole freaking title is so annoying because I still don't understand why it's book. I understand why it's book 2, but why is it Ghost? Like, I guess they're creating Ghost. I don't know. We still haven't gotten any answers on that, but whatever, child. Let's just get into the review because it seemed like this episode was extra long, and I don't know, maybe it was, but it was just like extra long or something because I have like a lot of notes. So we just gonna get into it, and if I missed up some things, just let me know down there in the comments, child, because I'm sure I will because I watched it earlier today and it is now late, and I really will have to look at my notes because yeah. Anyway, we see Tyreek. He in the office suite or lobby or something like that, and he's looking out the window. But we see him looking at this app. And at first, I was like, "Well, he about to buy some papers or something?" Because he doing Zeke papers, he doing his own papers. So I was like, "Well, maybe he about to buy papers or something like that, so he don't have to write so much." But no, then he on the phone with Monet because Monet start calling him as he walking to like wherever he's supposed to be going. She called him up and she giving him the rules because he working for her now. So the first rule was always pay the exact amount. The second one was always pay on time, and the third one was pay in cash or whatever. Because she was like, if I don't like problems, so I don't want us to have any problems or whatever like that. Find out he visited Simon Stern. He in Simon Stern's office, but when he get in the office, Simon Stern ain't in the office. It's his husband. So they just got married or something like that. So the husband there, and he like, well, anything that's Simon might be interested in, I'm gonna be interested too, or we both got to be interested, something like that. He said, child. So turns out Tyreek is pitching his tutoring thing because he said he want to get into tutoring or something like that, or this app for tutoring and stuff. And he like, what, like, why would we do all this or whatever? He was like, look, this is gonna be the new big thing, and I want you to give me, what do you say, all the profits that we make from tutoring, I want the money to be given to me in cash or whatever. And he was like, well, I need a percentage off of this or whatever. Somehow it ended up, I think he asked for 15%, and Tyreek was like, no, you can get 5%. So then he was like, oh, okay, well, I'll take 5% or whatever like that. Tasha, she calls him up, child. She just as annoying as she want to be. Tyreek, I know what you're doing. You need to stop whatever you're doing. I know how you're getting the money to pay Davis and stuff. Like, how did you really think he was getting the money to begin with, Tasha? Did you think he was out there selling Girl Scout cookies or something like that? Boy Scout popcorn? Like, girl, stop. So she like, well, you need to get a gun. He like, I'm taking care of everything. How am I supposed to get a gun? Everybody I know who would have gave me a gun is gone pretty much. So she was like, well, Tommy and your dad had spots where they stash stuff just in case something popped off or whatever like that. I'm gonna give you the address to one of them or something. I think later on she did send in and said something about a laundromat or whatever like that. What else, child? That was the text. Okay, because I thought he got a text saying to pick up the drugs. So the text that he got was for the laundromat, and that was for where they stash guns or money or what have you there. So we see Tyreek in class. Reynolds is teaching. He's summing up something, child. Then the I do not remember that white professor's name. I cannot remember. The white professor, he came in there, and then Professor Milgram came in there, and they were talking about this fellowship. So it's going to be this new fellowship, and they're talking about it and whatnot. And then they also bring up you can graduate college in 3 years or whatever. Bruce Chandra, I think that was her name, she turns to Lauren and was like, "Oh yeah, boo, he live up in Washington D.C. You better get up there and make nice or whatever." And Tyreek hears this. He was like, "Oh, you got a boyfriend up there or whatever? Oh, okay, that's cool." And I don't think she said nothing. I think she was just smiling or something like that. And then Brushanda turned to the other dude, Richard, I think, or some other boy. Some other black boy that was in the class. And when the professor said you can graduate college in 3 years, they was both like, well, who want to leave college early? Tyreek perked up with that. 3 years. Oh, okay. So he, of course, going to try out for the fellowship because he want to get out early. He want to get that money. Lauren, after they finish talking, goes down to talk to Dr. Reynolds or Professor Reynolds, And she was like, what does it take to be your fellow or whatever? And child, he looked like he was about to bust. Oh, so you want to take me out to dinner? Oh, okay, what kind of dinner? She was like, yeah, my parents' house, whatever. He was like, oh, yeah, of course, of course. You thought she was inviting you to dinner for some romantic tryst or something, boy, bye. So he like, well, because she was like, my mom and dad like your books or something. So he was like, well, you need to invite Dr. Milgram to come to be like what do you say, for fairness or whatever, and then you should bring another student for optics or whatever. Here comes Tyreek inviting himself. Oh, I'll come. She was just like, okay, sure, or whatever. But then when she turned away, she looked like she had like a little toot or whatever. I was like, what's up with that? Because we know she crushing on him hard. Next we see Monet and Kane. She's talking to the QTP boys. What's the QTP? Y'all know who I'm talking about. She's talking to them guys, the ones who was all on Instagram and all that other dumb shit. They talking to them. Monet, she all trying to be hard and stuff, and she trying to let them know, like, look, y'all was fucking up business. We gonna have to put a stop to that. Y'all ain't doing right or whatever. Y'all need to lay low. Yada yada yada. They was looking like, okay, whatever. She go to walk away. The head dude called her a puta. She was like, what you say, pendejo? And no, she was like, say it to my face or whatever. And he was looking like, for like the longest time, he was like, pooh, wow. Kane busting right in the face before he even get out the Kane was just wilding on him. I was like, well, damn. So one of his boys wanted to pull the gun out, but she was like, you sure about that? So he, he ain't pull out his gun or nothing like that. Kane finished whooping the man's ass. Then they get up, they walk away. And I was like, Mary, she come in and out her acting. Like, sometimes she be good, sometimes she be a little rough. On this scene, she was like, damn, you beat the brakes off him. She was a little rough. I was like, come on now, Mary, get gutter again. But she told him, like, you the only one I can trust, or the only one that got my back or count on or something like that. So he was feeling himself then. We see Brayden tripping, okay? He like, yo, the dude, what if he find out what? Because remember last episode they had Epiphany handcuffed the drug dealer on, what was his name, Scotty? I forgot the boy name, but the main drug dealer who be giving out the drugs at the parties and stuff like that, they had him held up with Epiphany or whatever. So Brayden tripping, thinking that he gonna find out that he was the one who did it, and Tyreek like, man, he don't even know you to connect. Like, he don't even know you into all that. So why would he even think, like, chill out or whatever? And besides that, we got other things to worry about. We gotta make this money or whatever. So Brayden like, we gonna do the same thing we did at Choke. He was like, no, we high tech. So then he telling about the app. Child, the app was kind of dope. I ain't gonna lie to you or nothing like that. It was dope. So it's a tutor app. On the tutor app, they have different classes or different options for you to get tutored: chemistry, economics, math. It was like 6 categories, I think. So they gotta get recruiters. They gotta get people who gonna pass out the the drugs or whatever like that. And they have to get people to know about the app or whatever. So they knocking on doors asking people, like, you need tutoring. So they go to Brushandra's door, and the dude like, you need some tutoring. She was like, do I look stupid to you or whatever like that? He was like, look, check it out or whatever. So he gives her like this envelope, and it got the whole logo on the envelope and everything, child. And she go open it up. It's a whole stack of weed on the study guide. So it's a real study guide. I think that class, because what was weed? Chemistry? Math was weed. So math was weed. So it had like a whole math sheet, a whole math study guide or whatever like that. So it looked real legit. She was like, oh hell yeah, I'm down with that. So they giving out freebies to get the word of mouth out. So of course she get the stack of weed. She got a big mouth. She gonna tell everybody about it, so they can get the hookup too or whatever. So math was weed, economics was uppers, chemistry was downers. And so Brayden was like, well, how we know what people really want tutoring or drugs? The premium package for drugs was $250, and the regular tutoring was like $50 or something like that. I was like, damn. So and they was child, they was raking it up. So the money is to be given to we see Tyreek going in there, he getting money from Simon, he giving money to Simon, his cut or whatever like that, and then he will take, the rest to Davis or whatever. So they in the room throwing money, child, all acting stupid, and then we see Tyreek put a stack on Davis' desk. So Davis like, well, damn, okay. So Tyreek going in like, well, what you got my money going out here for? You supposed to be working on my mama case, and you out here playing pretend judge or pretend courtroom or stuff like that. He was like, look, we got this under control. It's not about your mama no more. We going after Saxe. We know this is all about him, yada yada yada. He was like, all right, well, if you're going after Saxe, you better be prepared or whatever, because he knows Saxe shady as shit, and Saxton got away with all this, okay, for the last how many years? 4 or 5 years. Saxton got away with all of this, child. So he like, you better be prepared. So he leaves. Paula is like, yo, is we really gonna pretend like he not into nothing illegal? We need to be looking into him and what he doing or whatever. David's like, don't even worry about that. We getting paid. Look at this big stack of money. We need to focus on the case. Here, take your cut or whatever. She takes the money. Then we see Tasha. She's sitting with her new friend. She worried because she like somebody watching me. I don't know who watched me, and I think it's the CO, because she's grilling the female CO or whatever. All the while, Bishop sitting up there watching her or whatever. I said, child. We see Davis. He back in the chamber, so he got Saxe in there. And his whole thing is we going to get people. He want to talk to Rodriguez, and he wants to talk to other people that will show that Saxe is dirty. So basically, he trying to get Saxe off the case, or, get Saxe off the case, get it turned back to like a state case or whatever, or just get the whole case thrown out. So that's his MO right now. So he trying to he in the chambers with Saxe, trying to get Saxe on the stand or whatever like that, or people on the stand, because Rodriguez was like, he dirty, he this and that. So we gonna put him on the stand, yada yada yada. So of course Saxe worried as hell, child. What else? I told you I had to look at my stuff now. Look, I watched it earlier today. So we see Kane. He back. They at the house. Or whatever like that. We see Kane. He's talking to his siblings, telling them what went down with the GTT boys or whatever, how they got shut down and stuff. And Diana like, well, they was wilding, so she needed to do what she needed to do. And Drew was like, well, who gonna replace them? Monet come in and she like, yeah, I hear y'all talking about what happened or whatever. Everything needed to be done the way it needed to be done. And they was like, oh, okay, well, who gonna, replace the GTT boys or whatever? Because, that's missing money. She was like, already got somebody. Don't worry about it. It's Tyreek. Kane like, Tyreek? That uppity boy, like, bougie ass? We don't need him. She was like, don't worry about that, okay? She like, Drew, what you think? Here go Kane. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Drew. Drew, what you think or whatever? Kane looking like, the fuck? Like, mama, like, what? So Drew like, well, I think we should just give him a chance, see what he doing or whatever like that. She turns to Diane and asks Diane, like, what do you think? And she was like, well, I think we should just see what he do, how he act or whatever, because she got a hard on for him. And so anything Tyreek and to get next to him, she gonna be all for. So Monet was like, I need y'all to go to the school and check out the operation. She was talking to Drew. And Kane was like, no, I can go up there, whatever. She was like, boy, they ain't letting you on nobody college. You don't look Ivy League nothing or whatever. So Diane wants to go, and she like, you not going. Drew, you go or whatever. And that shit was funny. Kane was like, let me go talk to the little nigga. I was like, no, not like that, okay? So, Drew, I think Drew had already left or something like that. And then she turns to Diana and was like, and I'm still mad at you for calling up your daddy on a burner phone and stuff like that. You don't need to be going nothing and doing nothing like that. She takes her regular phone and was just like, And so Diana, of course, storms off. She all mad or whatever like that. Kane mad at Monet because Monet ain't talked to him about signing Tyreek on, to get the drugs and all this other stuff. Because he like, we a partnership. We a family. We play the game together or whatever like that. And she like, look, everybody play their role. You need to learn your role. And what you did today with the GTT boys, that's your role. That's your position. Play that. I was like, So then we see Drew, child. He shows up in Tyreek's room, and he got Drew so child. He got a bag of weed. I'm like, what if somebody in security would have stopped? Child, whatever. But he got like, I guess he had like a whole bunch of weed in his bag because he was like, I'm here to, re-up you or whatever like that. And Tyreek like, yeah, Monet sent you here down here to check on me or whatever like that. He was like, well, since you know what's up, like, just show me the operation and I could be on my way. Child vibrate and walked in with 2 cups of ice cream talking about some, yo, is this the plug? I said, nigga, Brayden gonna get them hemmed up. He can't, child, he can't hold water. He gonna get them hemmed up. So Tyreek better have a backup plan because I'm like, he just walking around. You don't know if he undercover. You don't know nothing. You talking about something? Is he the plug? He got the drugs on him. I'm saying, what the hell? Tyreek was just like, no, he about to go, and they go out the door or whatever like that. They go to art class because Tyreek taking art class or whatever, and Drew is still with Tyreek, and the art teacher like, oh, come on, bring him in, come on, go sit with a foreigner or whatever like that. And at first Tyreek was like, but no, he just bring him on in, come on, sit down. Child, Drew sits next to this guy. He said he was on a basketball team. I don't think he said his name. Did he say his name? I don't know, but he was a little cutie. He was a little chocolatey boy. And Drew sits next to him. Child, as soon as he sat down, I was like, oh, okay, so Drew playing with us. Okay, he on the pride team. All right, I see you, Drew. Because it was some chemistry. I was like, well, damn, they finna bone in the damn art room. I was like, oh my God. Like, damn, you just met the man, okay? But anyway, I guess he was just like, whoo, child, yes. So, anyway, y'all. Sax is on the phone with John or whatever, and I guess John cussing him out because Sax going in or something like that. They trying to find some evidence, because he about, I think because he was worried about what was going to go on, because this was before Rodriguez got on the stand or whatever like that. So I guess Sax was worried. I don't know what was going on, but they was going back and forth on the phone. Then he hung up. In comes, I think, that undercover cop. Yeah, the undercover cop who working with Sax came in, and he was telling the undercover cop we need to get some evidence on Tyreek or whatever to see what he's doing and stuff. So he wanted the man to tail him. He was like, tail a minor. And I was like, well, how old is Tyreek? What? So I was like, ain't he 18? But I guess he not, child. So anyway, another officer came in with the niece, because the niece had like possession of weed or something. She had like 2 grams or 2 ounces of marijuana or something, child. So they brought her to Sax because they, he was district attorney, so they didn't want to book her and all this other stuff. She getting smart with the man, talking about something, if you wasn't too worried about jacking off. I said, Lord, girl, that is no, seems too much. But he fussing at her, so everybody left out. It was just them 2. So he fussing at her, and she really didn't care. She gave 2 shits about what he was saying until he was like, you know what, I'm gonna tell your mama. I don't tell, because then she gonna cut me off, she gonna take my money, she gonna do this. No, I'll do anything, like what you need and stuff. And then like the light bulb went off in Sax's head, and of course we already know what he gonna have her do. Okay, it don't take a genius to figure that out. So we see Drew. Was they still in the class? Yeah, they were still in the art class and stuff. So Drew still, drawing the guy, stuff like that. I don't think they showed what he had drew at that time, but he drew the painting or whatever of the guy. And the guy was like, oh, with skills like this, I'm gonna need your instant information. So he passes his phone and stuff like that, and drew all with the, and they all at each other while they making googly eyes at each other. Tyreek goes on and sneaks out. I said, Drew, this is why people don't put you in the role that they. This is why you don't need to be in this role. The boy's sneaking out while you over here making googly eyes. I said, Jesus. Anyway, we're back in the courtroom. Rodriguez, with her annoying ass voice, is sitting up there on the stand, child, and she just running down what Saxe did. She like he stole the phone. No, he went to the crime scene of Terry Silver, and he stole evidence, a cell phone and stuff like that. Then he took the phone and planted the phone in James what am I about to say, St. Clair. What's this? Is this? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't. Why I can't think of that damn last name? But St. James. There we go. No, St. James. Y'all know what his last name is. I can't think of it right now, and I'm not going to try too hard. She was like, and he put it in the hotel room, tried to frame him and stuff, and Saxe was looking like, what? And what else she say? She said a whole bunch of stuff, and she was like, what? She said a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, talking about what was that little girl name? The one who lost both her mama and her daddy. Maria. Y'all know the little girl. And, oh, shit. I cannot think of that man's name. He died. Oh, man. I can't think of his name. But y'all know what I'm talking about. He had died. Tommy basically shot him. He came at Tommy with a damn knife. Child. He was the uncle. But, the daddy was the lawyer, and I can't think of his damn name. So it seemed like I watched Power so long ago, but y'all know what I'm talking about. When he had planted that little unicorn on that little girl backpack, and he gave it to the mama, and then the mama put it on the little girl backpack or whatever like that. So when she went back to her daddy's house, she could record and go, back and forth and stuff. So she was telling the judge how she found that secret device and stuff like that, like bugging a minor and all. Like she going in. So it was Saxe's turn to question her or whatever. Child, I was cracking up because I was like, and I don't like Saxe, but I was cracking up when he was pointing out all the same shit that she was doing, because then she also said how Rashad had changed his story, and he was calling, James a murderer and all this other stuff right in front of her face and whatnot. He was like, yeah, but you were standing there, wasn't you? And you didn't say nothing. And she was like, yeah, but I wanted to, but you didn't. That's cracking up. He was like, because you wanted him to go to jail same way I wanted him to go to jail for what he did and stuff. So then he went and said something else, child. Oh, man. Let me see if I wrote it down. Oh, the Andre thing. Because remember how she had said that when Dre went back to jail the second time, I think, because then he got out and then he got picked back up. And then when he got picked back up the second time, she was like, James killed such and such, didn't he? Or whatever. He killed Terry, so you heard him do all this other stuff. So she was basically putting words in his mouth and stuff. And he was like, what if I tell you I got proof that Dre was on the other side of town and yada, 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 child. That shit was hilarious, because it's like, yo, you throwing stones at him, but you just this dirty. Like, what is you talking about? So basically the judge was like, okay, I heard enough of what you got to say, and I will be sending these recordings to your supervisor. I was like, oh, so now you out of a job, bitch. Anyway, so the judge was like, she sure do got an axe to grind with you. And he was like, exactly. But she was like, yeah, but I still want to hear what Tate got to say. So go ahead and send him a subpoena. So then, of course, what's his name? Saxe is worried again, because he like, damn, I dodged that bullet. Now, what they gonna find out from Tate? Taking the subpoena, he in front of John and the DNC, and he like, look, I can't be involved in this shit. And he was like, make it go away. They was like, that's exactly what we doing. We gonna do. We got it. Don't worry about it, whatever. And they was like, but wait, did you lie when you said James had motive to kill Terry Silver and all this other stuff? And he was like, look, I know what y'all don't want me to say. Y'all don't want me to say he was a murderer. Y'all don't want me to say he fucked around town, beat his wife, all this other shit. But that's what he was. And they was like, you exactly right. He was like, well, look, I don't want to testify. I'm telling y'all I don't want to testify. They was like, look, we don't give a shit what you want to do. This what you're gonna do, and this what you're gonna say. So then he's stuck. We see Tyreek in the laundromat. It's a false panel. Well, Tasha giving him the code. She like, it's a false panel. The code is your birthday, whatever like that. So now he has a gun. We see Paula, she calling him or whatever. He's just ignoring her phone calls and stuff. Lauren texts him, said dinner was at 7 because he's going, remember, to the parents' house with the teachers and all this other shit. Brayden calling, saying the app is blowing up. They big, they need a re-up, they need more. He like, damn, like, what? How am I gonna get a re-up or whatever? I don't, like, like, it was supposed to be low-key. Like, he was like, look, but, if we don't get this re-up or nothing like that, it's gonna be grand opening, grand closing. He was like, all right, don't worry about it. I got this. He came out of somewhere, child, and Paula was outside the door. And she was like, look, he was going inside the dorms or whatever. And she was inside waiting for him. And she was like, look, I told you needed to be by your phone all day or whatever. It's, stuff going on. We about to subpoena Tate. He about to say this stuff about your dad and stuff. And she was like, all right, what? He was like, all right, whatever. He was like, why are you here? So she gives him back the money and was like, I can't take this money or whatever. It needs to be a wire or a money order. And he was like, well, I thought lawyers, like cash and stuff. She was like, yeah, but this is a high profile case. We need to have it tracked. They got to track the money and stuff like that. So, like, where are you getting this money from? So he like, look, I stole the money from my grandma. She the only one who getting money from the settlement and stuff like that from my dad's estate and whatnot. And I knew where it was, so I stole it. And he was like, I got to help my mom. She was like, we can help you, Tariq. We can help you. He was like, no, you can't help me or whatever. So, but I'll, get the money and stuff. And then he goes into his room. Then we hear him calling, or did he call? I don't think he called. Let me see. No, Max calls him. Was it Max? Is that the Simon Stern's husband? Simon Stern's husband called him. I don't know. I wrote Max, but I don't know if that was his name or not. But he called him. He telling them they blowing up. They going to date the next Steve Jobs and all this other stuff. He was like, well, maybe I'm Steve Jobs and you such and such and stuff like that. And Tariq, now, he don't care about all that. He like, look, I need the cash. Instead of giving me cash for the stuff, I need my money wired to this and all this other stuff. He was like, oh, okay, and I'm still gonna get my 15%. He was like, 15%? That ain't what we talked about. He was like, yeah, but you need me now, right? So it's gonna be 15%. He was like, all right, whatever. Shit. So next we see Drew, child. He in the basketball player's room. I said, Lord, they about to bow chicky wow wow. The boy then took his shirt off. He like, this is my number right here on my chest. I want you to draw me or whatever. What he say? I want you to draw my next tat or whatever. And he what he say? This is gonna be my future number. He was like, that ain't your number right now. He was like, no, Connor has my number, and he wanted me to buy it off of him, but I ain't trying to do all that and stuff like that. And he said he had like a trophy or something on his belly, and he was like, yeah, but you need to still keep winning them championships. This Drew talking to the boy. You need to still keep winning them championships or something. I don't know. He was flirting hard or whatever, but he was touching on them all sensual and everything. So next thing, they was kissing, tonguing down and stuff, and then Drew's phone rang. I was like, Lord. But then he looked at the phone, child. Tariq then called him 5 times. He done had 5 missed calls. I said, Lord. He calls. He like, all right, let me go. Mama, it might be my mom or something. He was like, oh, mama's boy. He was like, no, for real. I'll be right back. So he go into the bathroom. He called Diana. I was like, why he ain't called Tariq? But I guess he ain't want to meet up with him because he trying to get some. I don't blame him. He calls Diana. Monet got Diana's phone. So she like, your phone blowing up and I asked somebody to do something and ain't nobody calling me. You pick up the phone and you put it on speakerphone. So he tells Diana, look, Tariq need more product. I'd have missed all his calls and stuff like that. I'm not with him. He need more product. Can you bring it up? Whatever. She was like, all right, no worries. I got it. Monet like, look, you need to be in and out. And she was like, but it seemed like I'm not the one you need to worry about. And she put her hand out for her phone. Like, bring my phone, because these fools out here acting up. So then we see Lauren. She texts Tyree. I said, Lord, she getting on my nerves too. She told my son, her mama like flowers, and he need to bring some flowers for the mama. I said, Tyreek finna be late because, yeah, because he got a lot going on. And dinner at 7, okay. So then we hear a knock at the door. It's Diana. He like, what you doing in here? She was like, look, I don't know where Drew at. Or no, he was like, well, where Drew? And he was like, I don't know. And she was like, well, I got the product or whatever. And he wanted to know why Drew was sent down there to spy on him or whatever. And she was like, because she didn't want me to come down here, or she wanted to see what was going on, but she didn't want me to come down here. He was like, why not? She was like, because something, I forgot what she said. I think she kissed him, and then she was like, because Zeke told me you wanted to date me or something like that, or wanted to ask me out. And he was like, yeah, but Monet said no. And she was like, well, Monet not here. So then she started tonguing him down. I said, see, that's why Monet don't want neither you nor Drew down there, because y'all ain't fucking focused on the goddamn family business. Y'all too busy trying to get some ass. Like, god damn. So she starts sucking on his face and all this other stuff, child. It's a knock at the door. It's Drew. He like, what y'all doing here? Fool, you don't need to be worried about that, because where was you just at? So, she like, don't worry about all that or whatever. So he's smiling like, I know what was going on. And I was just like, oh, these children, Monet, reel your children in, girl. We're back at the chambers. Davis is examining Rashad, and Rashad, oh, my boo Lorenz Tate, child. Woo. He like, Sax didn't lead me to lie. Tasha came down there to see me, and she had told me that Terry was, what he say, Ghost knew about Terry or some shit like that. Basically, it was all Tasha idea. And that Tasha had threatened his life or begged him or put him in this position to give her the daycare. And then he had an attack on his life, which, remember, Cedric was, was about to kill him and stuff. And no, Cedric was about to kill James and them. But then the son, because Cedric got killed, then the son came to get Rashad or whatever, because Rashad hired him. So Rashad know who tried to attack him. But at any rate, he put it all on Tasha or whatever. And child, Davis looked like he was about to throw up. The judge was like, any other questions and stuff like that. I forgot what Sax asked them, but it was just like, okay. You have a good day. And so he goes to get up, but Davis is like, you lying ass nigga. He was like, and thank you. I hope for your support someday soon. He laughed. I was cracking up. I was like, Davis, you got to come a little bit harder and quicker than that, okay? So then we see Drew, he in the shower. Monet questioned him about what went on with Tyreek and stuff, and he like, Tyreek knew I was down there to question him or follow him or spy on him, whatever, as soon as he saw me and stuff. And she was like, oh, okay, well, did you find something out about the operation? He was like, no, I didn't. So she was like, that's good, he keeping it real, he being real careful or whatever. And so she asked for the money. He was like, it's in the bag. She go grab the money. Then she see the sketchbook, and it got the, it's the basketball player, but it's from the torso. And it was a real nice sketch or whatever. I wonder if he drew that for real, but it was really nice. She looked at the sketch, and then she was just like, how she talking about, what she say, her dad, not her dad, Jesus. She was like, your dad thinks you soft, and but I know you not. I know you smart, and I know you real observant. And then she said something about the boys won't protect you or something. And I was like, And then she was just like, the family gonna protect you, so just be careful out there and come back home. Always come back home or something like that. So I guess she know that he gay, and I guess that was her way of saying, like, just be careful out there in the world, because everybody, is not accepting and stuff like that. I think that's what she was trying to say, but I'm not 100% sure. Child, at Lauren's house, Milgram arrived. She looking at the house and everything like that. She turned around, she see Dr. Reynolds there, so I guess she ain't know he was going to be there. She looked like she was about to piss on herself when she turned around. We see Tyreek running down the road, the street or whatever. He trying to go to the flower shop. Of course, the flower shop closed. Of course, he late to dinner, child. When is he not late? He had dessert. I said, you shouldn't even have showed up. I would have been like, something came up. I apologize. The dang on mama, she talking about color people time. Then Reynolds want to go into this whole synopsis about color people time. Milgram like, we don't need to hear all this. The daddy trying to come at Tyreek like he ain't ish, but then they know that who Tyreek is related to, because they was like, well, we saw your dad's funeral and stuff like that. Then the damn Milgram and Reynolds, they go at it, and so it was just awkward as hell. And then it was so awkward. Lauren was like, look, we about to go find Dr. Reynolds' book in the house somewhere. Let's go, Tyreek. So then they go. She talking about something, child, talking about her brother, how he started doing drugs and stuff like that because her parents was putting too much pressure on him, and she doesn't want to end up like that, but that's why she has to do this fellowship and stuff like that so she can get above. And Tyreek was like, yeah, I understand that my dad was trying to push me and stuff like that. And she was like, well, how did you make him back up? Here I go thinking, I shot him. Because that's what the fuck did. But he didn't say that. He was like, he died. So she was like, well, you okay? Because every time you talk about him and you say that, you kind of like spaced out or whatever. He was like, yeah, I'm fine or whatever. Somehow, I don't know how they got to where they got to, but she started kissing on him or something. Oh, because she was like, you so secretive. And he was like, well, you tell me a secret, I'll tell you a secret. And she was like, I can show you better than I can tell you. So then she start kissing on him and stuff. Next thing we know, it's the doorbell. It's her damn boyfriend from DC. The mama then called him down to surprise her. Of course, he came with some flowers. I was like, Lord. She go, oh, hi, Jamal. Oh, my God. Like, you're here and stuff. I was just like, girl, not Jamal. What was that boy name? Because he called Tyreek Jamal or something. I forgot what that boy name was. Oh, Malcolm. And he was like, oh, is this Jamal, the underprivileged child that you take? She was like, this is not Jamal. Come on, let's go get you a plate. So then Tyreek ends up leaving the house or whatever. Milgram and Reynolds in their office back at the school and stuff, they get to arguing and all that stuff. So all it did was lead down to them fucking. That's all it did. I said, why are we following this storyline? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. At the party now, Tyreek and Brayton are at the frat party. So the niece comes into the frat party. She talking to Sax. He like, look, don't get too close. You know, stay your distance and stuff like that. Of course, she does the opposite. She goes up there and was like, your aura is giving off something negative. Tyreek was like, yeah, no. And so he walks away and leaves. So Brayton, of course, he flirting and all this other stuff with her. Tyreek, he goes over to one of the dudes and was like, yo, youngin got some pills or whatever. He was like, what? Skeeter? He got pills? So then he goes past it to somebody else. Somebody passed it to Scott or whoever that boy was, who is the one who sells the drugs at the campus or at the parties or whatever. He goes up to Brayton and basically wants to fight Brayton because he on his turf and stuff. So Brayton, he swung at Brayton. Brayton was like, pow, 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 pow. He got him. They drug him out and stuff like that. So I was like, why is Tyreek starting to fight? But then I was like, oh, okay. At the end, when it kind of was like, oh, that's why he was starting to fight. The niece, while they trying to drag Scott out, she turns around and snaps a picture of Tyreek on the steps or whatever. Then we see Simon Boo transferring six-figure. I don't know how much it was. I couldn't really see it or whatever, but it looked like it was either 5 or 6 figures to this wire train. Well, I guess it had to be, because how much they pay? He paying is he paying him $50K or $500K? Davis, whatever, how much he got to pay Davis, that's how much it was wired to them. Because then we see Paula and Davis, they screwing or whatever, child. And I was like, is it me or did Method Man look like he was tired or something? I was like, I expected more from him. But I mean, it was a good back shot and scene. I said, okay. But anyway, she gets a text message or whatever, after they done this stuff. Because, checking your messages while you doing it is just rude. But Dee checked it, and then it was the wire transfer. So she was like, you got a wire transfer from an offshore account, LLC or something like that. So a shady LLC. He was like, yeah, see, I clocked it. I knew what was going on or whatever. She was like, yeah, but I clocked a gun on Tyreek, and, we not going to investigate that. So she, again, wants to investigate. He was like, no. Don't worry about all that. If we go investigate all of this, how is this going to get Tasha out, and how we going to stay undefeated and stuff? She was like, well, we undefeated because of me. He was like, you right, you right. Child, turns out he cheating on his wife. She like, don't forget your ring. I said, Lord. They was talking about how they was going to get sex off the case or whatever, and then they both had like this light bulb moment. Then we see Scott, he getting kicked out. So that's why Tyreek wanted to start a fight with Brayton, or start a fight with Brayton, because Brayton parents own the auditorium and the pool. So anything you do to the West End, you got to go. So of course Tyreek smiling about that. Then they in class. Lauren wanted to keep her distance because she sent him a text message saying she's sorry and she wanted to talk or something like that. He was like, ain't nothing to talk about. She think that's like him dissing her or whatever. So she come in the classroom. She wants to on the other side of the room. And he was like, look, we all got options, boo. Like, don't worry about it. I know we gotta play the game or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. So then Diana texts him, and she like, well, who is Diana? He was like, look, I told you we got options. I was like, oop, now he a pimp. Anyway, we see Tasha working out, but she ends up getting a text message from Lorenzo. She gets a text message from Lorenzo with pictures of Tyreek and saying that he did a good job this week or whatever. She looking all scared and stuff. I'm like, girl, stop. And then we see the niece. She sent pics of Tyreek to Sex or whatever, and he's sitting there looking on the standing on the steps, looking like he the king of the goddamn college. And then that was it. I was like, Lord have mercy. Next week's episode is going to be the mid-season finale, so I guess a whole bunch of stuff's supposed to pop off before they go on a break. So y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode. If y'all like this review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are watching this and not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.